For 2023, Fischer has redesigned and reimagined their complete Ranger collection. Hi, this is Phil from SkiTalk.com.
I'm Tricia from SkiTalk.com.
And I'm Winks from SkiTalk.com.
Winks is one of our testers, and we're bringing them into this video because actually Winks and Tricia have the lion's share of time on this specific series of skis. Both of them actually had a good amount of input, not only design, but also direction of the collection. Can you two expand on that a little bit?
Oh, would you like to start?
Yeah, so when Fischer was looking at redesigning the whole Ranger line, they approached me and some of my colleagues over at Kalski, and they said, hey, you've spent a lot of time on the old Ranger, like what could we do different? And they kind of threw a few prototypes at us and allowed us to kind of play around.
That's really awesome. And from my perspective, I started a discussion on SkiTalk.com a few years ago about the importance of women-specific skis, or whether it was just important for ski brands to have different flexes and different sizes and different scaling for different body sizes as opposed to women and men specific. We were finding that a lot of women that were taller, more athletic, were buying men's skis, and we found that some smaller men were having a hard time finding a ski that fit their needs, so they ended up buying women's skis. And through that discussion, I was approached at SIA a couple of years ago by one of their people from Europe to talk about this and asked me the importance. And for what it's worth, I think it's more important to scale the size than to have something gender specific.
Yeah, I also found that a lot of men were buying the women's colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So let's talk about the new Fischer Ranger 90. Dimensions on this ski are 124, 90, 113 with a 16-meter radius in our reference 170 that we have here. The Ranger 90 is part of a full collection of skis from Fischer, and you can see behind Winks that we do have the Ranger 96. There's also 102, and what is not represented here, unfortunately, is the 108 and the 116. Two of the bigger skis that are a little more powder biased in the collection. Now, Winks, tell us a little bit about the construction and what to expect from this ski.
So what to expect from the ski is, first, what they did is they got rid of a lot of the carbon that was kind of known in Fischer. They also used to do what they called AirTech core, which they milled out the core a little bit to make it lighter. But what they did here is they kind of gave it a full poplar wood core, and then they did what they call shape TI now. And so the idea behind that was to do sort of an H-frame here with a hinge in the middle to really give you more of a round flex like you'd find in just a ski without metal. And making it so that the metal doesn't go wall to wall made it so that the ski feels...
Would you say damp, maybe?
Yeah, a little quieter. You just don't feel like you have a dead zone in the ski at all. You really feel like you have a strong, stable underfoot, but that the ski still flexes evenly.
So in the previous generation, the skis, they had the tie and the FR. It was
Right.
kind of an either or as far as what you wanted out of that ski. This sounds the best compromise between the two of them, best balance.
I think so. I think what they did here is they, taking out the carbon, they definitely made the turn initiation easier. But then still having that metal underfoot keeps it like really stable, and still lively too.
And from my perspective, talking about the carbon, this has been one of my favorite versions of any of the Fischer Ranger skis, in part because it has that calmer initiation because of the H metal construction.
Yeah.
Now we've got a 90 millimeter wide ski, and we can see that it has a little more rise in the tip and the tail. So as far as who's this ski going to be for, this is definitely for somebody looking in that 90 millimeter range, and this is what we refer to as, even in that 90 millimeter range, a wide, narrower 90 millimeter wide ski, and it's going to have a little more of an off-piste bias as far as maybe who it might not be for. What do you think?
Maybe a little more of those serious carvers.
Okay.
You know, I think that they make a range in that, like with the Fischer Curve GT.
Yep.
I'd say it's may not be the best for the East Coast, but other than that, I think it's just, you know, really not for those serious carvers.
Great. Okay. This is Phil, Trish, and Winks from SkiTalk.com, and as always,
Skiing is fun.
Sure is.
To read the full review of this ski, please go to SkiTalk.com and click on the review tab.
Please also hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more reviews and other ski-related content, and add thoughts in the comment section below.
Of course, follow SkiTalk.com on all of our social media channels. And remember, no matter how still you are, bend stiller.